Welcome back to CI Living. It has been a difficult week for our neighbors there in Gibson City, and recent events have left us with a few questions about the nature of a 1,000 years flood.
And here with more details on all that flooding in Gibson City and the weather we had here recently is WCIA 3's Jack Gerfin. It's time to ask your meteorologist. Hey, Jack.
Hey, yeah, so once in every 1,000-year event is what Gibson City saw last Thursday. So
is that because of how much rain fell, how fast? What made it so rare?
It was just that. It was how much rain fell in that short amount of time. We had many reports that were coming in of about 9 inches, if not even a little bit more than that. And the heaviest of the rain fell within a span of like only 6 hours.
Wow, and it was one of those training events that we had talked about last week, so it was
legit
crazy.
The day before, we talked about the day before a training event, and this ended up being just an extreme version of that. Here we have some of the, and it's the screenshot that we took from the day after, so that's why it says yesterday, but this is the radar estimated rainfall, and you saw that we've got some spots in the northern part of Champaign County and the southern part of Ford County, an 11.4 inch rating there. That's radar estimated, so that's not exactly a real measurement, but it's very close usually. And in and around the Gibson City area, we saw many reports that were coming in at around 8 to almost 9 inches from private weather stations and what we call Coco Ross. So a lot of farmers participate in that. They go measure it at 7 o'clock every morning. But we had a lot of different high readings in and around the Gibson City area, and it's just nowhere to go. The rain had nowhere to go.
I guess the good news is that we shouldn't expect one for another 1,000 years, right? So.
That's the thing, but you know, these every 1 in 100 year, 1 in 500 year, you know, they're becoming a little bit more common, so you kind of have to watch out for that. But at least in the near term, we got a nice dry forecast this week too, which will help them to kind of get things cleared out.
Yeah, because how long does it take all that water to clear out? Did it take like a couple days?
It was a couple days. It was nice in that it was kind of dry leading up to it, so the ground was able to really just suck it down, but it just wasn't fast enough to prevent a bunch of the flooding.
Yeah. And now, do we need to be worried about more flooding around central Illinois with this new tropical system?
No, so we've been hearing Tropical Depression Fred. He got a little close to us a couple days ago, and he gave us a few of those little rain showers that we had on Monday and a little bit of some rain showers yesterday. And just wanted to point out that Illinois can still sometimes get tropical systems in the actual state itself. So this track that you have, they're actually the center of the circulation, so the low coming on through that used to be maybe a hurricane or a tropical storm, and 21 of them have actually gotten into the state. Fred did not cross over directly into our state, so that doesn't count, but 21 of them have come in, and there's actually, and it's hard to see if it's full screen, it's a little bit easier to see, but there's a green line that comes into kind of south central southern Illinois, and it actually was a tropical storm. So it was back in 1941, a Category 3 hurricane, which was unnamed.
Made it all the way that far?
It hit Galveston, and it survived as a hurricane. Eventually, we can do a tropical storm, but it's still a tropical storm in Illinois, and that's the only one that we've ever had that's been that way.
Let's hope we avoid that in the future.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Exactly.
So these happen, you know, once every couple years, depending on how they go. Obviously, normally they go into the deep south, and they make their turn to the right, and they'll maybe go up the eastern seaboard. So it's pretty rare for them to happen in our area, but if it's going to hit us, it usually has to kind of come into Texas. It's usually like the Texas route, then it makes the swoop over and potentially get us.
How much longer is tropical storm and hurricane season? How long does that go?
It goes into the winter months. So the peak is a month. September 15th is the peak day, the middle of it. So then it will taper off after that. So we're about halfway done right now.
I believe Tropical Depression Fred also plays blues music at a little bar in Jamaica somewhere. I think I saw him.
So yeah.
Thanks, Jack.
Not true, but it really should be true. I wish it was.
Hey, if you have a question for our meteorologist, Jack Gerfin, here is several different ways for you to get those to him, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, or email. And we will check in with him again next week out here in the Weather Garden. Thanks, Jack.
Thank you, guys.